You woke up this morning already carrying weight that isn't yours. The email you're dreading, the conversation you can't stop replaying, the future you're trying to control before it even arrives. Your chest tightens, your mind races, and you haven't even left your bed yet. Nearly 2,000 years ago, a former slave stood before his students in Rome and spoke 6 words that would become the most powerful idea in Stoic philosophy. He said, "Some things are in our power and some things are not." His name was Epictetus, and what he taught next has the power to free you from almost everything that tortures your mind. Epictetus was not born into privilege. He was born into slavery around 50 AD in Hierapolis, in what is now modern Turkey. His master was Epaphroditus, a wealthy freedman who served in Nero's household. According to ancient sources, Epictetus walked with a permanent limp. Some accounts attribute this to his master's cruelty, others to a childhood illness. What is certain is that he knew suffering intimately. When he was eventually freed, he didn't seek wealth or revenge. He opened a school of philosophy. He owned almost nothing: a straw mat, a simple bed, an earthen lamp. And from that poverty, he taught some of the most powerful men in Rome how to find peace. His students included senators, generals, and according to some historians, his teachings deeply influenced Marcus Aurelius himself, who quoted Epictetan ideas throughout his own meditations. This man, who had every reason to rage against the world, instead became one of history's greatest teachers of emotional resilience and inner freedom. The dichotomy of control is the foundation of all Stoic philosophy. Epictetus opens his Enchiridion, his manual for living, with these words: "Of all existing things, some are in our power and some are not in our power. In our power are thought, impulse, will to get, and will to avoid. Not in our power are body, property, reputation, and office." What does this actually mean for you today? It means there are only 2 categories in your entire life: things you can influence, your own thoughts, your choices, your effort, your character, and things you cannot influence, other people's opinions, the economy, the weather, the past, the outcome of events already set in motion. The dichotomy of control teaches that nearly all human suffering comes from one mistake. We pour our energy, our emotion, our entire identity into things that were never within our power to begin with. You suffer over what someone thinks of you. You cannot control their mind. You agonize over whether you'll get the job. You cannot control their decision. You fear what might happen tomorrow. You cannot control time itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the Stoic mind at its clearest. Not indifference, not passivity, but a radical redirection of energy toward what is actually yours. Now let me be honest with you, this is not easy. Modern life is specifically designed to make you forget this truth. Social media trains you to care about other people's approval. News cycles train you to fear events beyond your reach. Advertising trains you to believe your peace depends on what you own. Every notification on your phone is an invitation to invest emotionally in something you cannot control. Every comparison, every argument online, every moment spent worrying about what someone said about you, these are all violations of the dichotomy of control. And the world does not want you to learn this, because a person who only invests energy in what they can control is very difficult to manipulate. You are not weak for struggling with this. Epictetus himself said mastering this takes daily practice. Even Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, admitted he failed at this regularly. Practical Stoicism is not about perfection. It is about returning to the principle again and again. So how do you actually apply the dichotomy of control in your daily life? Let me give you 3 concrete practices. First, the morning separation. Each morning, before you reach for your phone, take 60 seconds. Think about what concerns you today. Then mentally divide those concerns into 2 columns. What can I actually do something about? And what is beyond my control? For everything in the second column, say to yourself, "This is not mine to carry." Then give your full attention only to column 1. Second, the moment of impulse. Throughout your day, when you feel anxiety rising or anger building, pause and ask one question. Is this within my control right now? If yes, act. If no, release. This single question, practiced hundreds of times, becomes a form of mindfulness that rewires how you respond to stress. Emotional discipline is not suppression, it is redirection. Third, the evening reflection. Before sleep, review your day. Where did you waste energy on things outside your power? Where did you succeed in focusing only on your own choices? Seneca practiced this every night, writing in his letters that this review was the most important part of his day. No judgment, just awareness. This is Stoicism 101, not grand philosophy, but small daily corrections. Over time, something extraordinary happens. You stop reacting and start responding. Conversations that once devastated you now pass through you like wind. Setbacks that once paralyzed you become problems to solve rather than tragedies to mourn. You develop what the Stoics called emotional resilience. Not the absence of feeling, but the freedom to feel without being controlled. People around you begin to notice. You become the calm one, the steady one. Not because you don't care, but because you've stopped wasting yourself on what was never yours to carry. Your self-improvement becomes effortless because all of your energy now flows in one direction, toward what you can actually change. This is what Epictetus meant when he said a person who masters this distinction becomes invincible, not because nothing bad happens to them, but because nothing external can reach the place where their peace lives. And here is the deeper truth that the Stoics understood. We are not here for long. This life, with all its noise and worry, is brief. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of this constantly. Memento Mori, remember you will die, not to create fear, but to create clarity. When you remember that your time is finite, wasting it on things beyond your control becomes almost absurd. Every hour spent in anxiety over someone else's choices is an hour stolen from your own life. The Stoic wisdom of Amor Fati, loving your fate, begins here. You cannot love your life while fighting against what you cannot change. The dichotomy of control is not just a philosophical idea. It is a doorway. Step through it, and the entire world rearranges itself. What once felt chaotic becomes simple. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Not because life changed, but because you finally stopped demanding that it be something other than what it is. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes and feel that familiar weight settling on your chest, the worry, the dread, the things you cannot fix, remember Epictetus. A man who was born in chains and found more freedom than most people who walk free ever will. Ask yourself his question, is this in my power? If not, let it go, and turn your full attention to what is. That is where your strength lives. That is where your peace lives. And it has been waiting for you all along. Stoicism, master your mind, master your life,